introductions, ladies and gentlemen of excellent family, introduced in an atmosphere of elegance and refinement. Object, matrimony. Unfortunately, I won't be able to offer my usual lighting services today, as I have a prior engagement in Yonkers, New York, arranging the second marriage of Mr. Horace Vandergelder, the well-known half-a-millionaire. As my late husband, Mr. Ephraim Levi, once said, that means he's got at least $60,000 in cash. But I'll do my best to have you carried across somebody's threshold before the week is out. Now, I might also like to mention that I am available for financial consultation, instruction in the guitar and mandolin, short distance hauling, and varicose veins reduced.
Come on, Dolly. She's the one who spits his rectum and his name the kind of man your sister. Once and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your minutes and she'll match him up. Come on, Dolly.
Mrs. Levi.
Mr. Caulfield, the artist. You know, I'm something of an artist myself. I do those silhouettes with scissors and black paper. I had one of Ada Rain facing the other way, but I have to do them like that because, well, I'm no good at noses.
Mrs. Levi, the train for Yonkers leaves in 5 minutes, and if we don't get there on time...
But we will, Mr. Kemper. And not only will Horace Vandergelder give you permission to marry his niece Ermengarde, but he will also dance at your wedding, and not alone either, because I happen to be engaged in finding him a suitable second wife himself. What he really wants is someone steady to clean the home. As my late husband Ephraim Levi once said, marriage is a bribe to make a housekeeper think she's a householder.
I know all about it, Mrs. Levi. Half New York says he's going to propose to Mrs. Irene Malloy this very afternoon.
Which is exactly why I'm on my way to Yonkers this morning, Mr. Kemper, and can take on your case and knock off 4 lovebirds with whatever I'll throw, and well, what do you think of that? I have nothing to pay my train fare with. Only large bills, 5 7s.
Change here somewhere. I only hope this isn't a wild goose chase, Mrs. Levi.
And speaking of poultry, I might also like to mention that I am available for fresh Jersey eggs, surgical corsets rebone, pierced ears, and pierced ears replugged.
Mrs. Levi!
Kind of man your sister. Once and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your minutes and she'll match him up. Come on, Dolly.
Tell me, Mrs. Levi, what's in all this for you?
A living, Mr. Kemper. Some people paint, some sew. I meddle. I have always been a woman who arranges things for the pleasure and the profit it drives. I have always been a woman who arranges things like furniture and daffodils and lives. When a man with a timid tongue meets a girl with a diffident air, why should the tortured creatures beat around the bush? Heaven knows Mother Nature always needs a little push. So I put my hand in here, I put my hand in frump lady fair. She had a countenance a little bit like Scrooge, but oh, today you would swear the Lord himself applied the rouge. So I put my hand in here. I put my hand in here. Then I twist a little, screw a little, shape a little, mold a little. Some poor chap gets sold a little. When I use my fist a little, some young bride gets kissed a little. Pressure with the thumbs, matrimony comes when I put my hand in
Mrs. Levi.
I know, Mr. Kemper. The Yonkers train is ready to leave. Now you go buy us our tickets, get a window seat, order lunch, and I'll meet you on board. Ephraim Levi, I'm going to get married again. I'm going to marry Horst Vandergelder for his money and send it circulating amongst the people like rainwater the way you taught me. And I want a sign from you sometime today that you approve. Oh, it won't be a marriage in the sense we had one, but I will surely make him happy. And I'm tired, Ephraim. Tired of living from hand to mouth. So I want that sign.
Levi.
Sometime today. Don't you worry, Mr. Kemper. We'll make the train, you'll get to Yonkers. Just leave everything to me. For when my little pinky wiggles, some young maiden gets the giggles, then I make my knuckles active. Why, he says she's so attractive. Then I use my index digit, and they both begin to fidget. Then I clench my palm. The preacher reads a psalm when I put my hand in there.
Dad! How can I be expected to play Yonkers my Yonkers with all that bellowing in my ears?
I can't help it, Uncle. I love Ambrose Kemper.
And I say you're too young to be in love with anybody. Here, take this.
I'm not too young. I'm 17, and in another year I'll be an old man.
Well, I forfeit it. Dare to be an old maid, Ermengarde, and I'll cut you off without a cent. And don't cry in front of the store.
I can't help it. I'm unhappy.
Well, then, by thunder, you'll go and weep for a while in New York where it won't be noticed. Now go upstairs and start packing your trunk. And don't get any tears in the lock. It was just oil. Cornelius Barnaby.
You stamped Mr. Vandergelder?
I did. I'm headed to New York this afternoon to march in the 14th Street Association Parade. And when I come back, you're going to have a mistress.
But I'm too young, Mr. Vandergelder.
Not yours, Helen Damnation. Mine. I'm young getting married again. And in honor of that occasion, I've decided to promote you, Cornelius, to chief clerk.
And what am I now?
You're an impertinent fool, that's what you are. And I've decided to promote you, impertinent fool, to chief clerk. Any more questions?
Yes!
What?
Does the chief clerk get one evening off a week?
So that's the way you think me for a promotion, is it? No. You'll attend to the store as usual. Now get back to work. And don't forget to put the lid on the sheep dip. Evenings off, marrying artists. Foolishness. 99% of the people in this world are fools. And the rest of us are in great danger of contamination. Why, even I was once young, which was foolish, and got married, which was foolish, and was poor, which was more foolish than anything else. Then my wife died, which was foolish of her, and I grew older, which was sensible of me, and became rich, friendless, and mean, which in Yonkers is about as far as you can go. Now I know what you're wondering now. Why a man of such good sense should be planning anything as foolish as getting married again? The answer's simple. This house without a woman would be an empty shell, and pretty dirty too. It takes a woman all powdered in pink to joyously clean out the drain in the sink. And it takes an angel with her golden lashes and soft resin fingers for dumping the ashes.
Yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life.
The frail young maiden who's constantly there for washing and looing and shoeing the mare.
And it takes a female for setting the table and cleaning the guernsey and cleaning the stable.
Yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life. And so she'll work until infinity. 3 cheers for femininity. Rah, 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 F-E-M-I-T-Y.
F-E-M? I-T-Y? Get out of here! And in the winter she'll shovel the ice and lovingly set out the trash for the mice.
She's a joy and treasure for practically speaking. For whom can you turn to when the plumbing is leaking?
That dainty woman, that fragile woman, that sweetheart, that mistress, that wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a scale woman, to bring you the sweet things in life. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life.
All right, now, all of you!
Congratulations, congratulations, 1,000 congratulations.
What?
Congratulations, Mr. Vandergelder. All of New York is buzzing with the news that you've practically proposed to Irene Malloy. The streets are lined with eligible young women prostrate with grief. All my congratulations and sympathy.
Sympathy?
Did I say that? A slip of the tongue, that's all. No, I'm delighted with the happy news. She wasn't easy to unload, of course. I mean, you know what people said, but I, for one, never believed the rumors. No, I didn't.
Well, rumors? What rumors?
Nothing to worry about, Mr. Vandergelder. According to all known fact, her first husband passed on quite naturally. It was just so sudden. A few spoonfuls of chowder she prepared special for him and poof! But no, there's no truth in it, nothing to worry about, just a word of advice, Mr. Vandergelder. Eat out.
Now hold on, Mrs. Levi. You mean to say that Mrs. Malloy?
I mean to say nothing, Mr. Vandergelder, just some friendly advice. Stay away from the chowder. By the way, she's ordered her gown. Beautiful, you should see it. Black. Well, as I was saying, congratulations on your forthcoming nuptials, and may you rest in, may guardian angels watch over you both, particularly at dinner.
Look here, Mrs. Levi. You introduced me to Mrs. Malloy, and rumors or not, I intend calling her this afternoon as arranged.
Very well, Mr. Vandergelder, then there's nothing left for me to do but go back to New York and tell the other girl, the heiress, not to wait.
What did you say?
Nothing. A word, heiress.
Particulars. I meant particulars, Mrs. Levi. Her name.
Oh, her name. Money! Ernestina Money.
What a lovely, lovely name.
Picture this, if you will. Hair as shiny as a newly minted dime. Eyes as big, round as silver dollars. Skin as soft and mossy as an old greenback.
I can feel her now.
Age 19, weight 102, waist 47.
Waist 47?
That's with the money belt. Now, I could arrange for you to meet her this very afternoon, Mr. Vandergelder.
I ain't got time, Mrs. Levi. I got to bring my niece Ermengarde to New York until she forgets a certain Ambrose Kemper.
Well, I could do that for you, Mr. Vandergelder. I know just how to handle such things.
Then I'm marching in the 14th Street Parade.
What an amazing coincidence! Gaster they've asked to ride the main float. The spirit of 14th Street. Miss Money. Her mother was a cash, you know.
All right, Miss Levi. I'll meet Miss Money at the end of the parade, but I still intend calling Mrs. Malloy first.
Oh, dear, the races you make me run! Very well, Mr. Vandergelder. I'll meet you on that bench in front of Mrs. Malloy's hat shop at 2:30 as usual.
Now, Mrs. Levi, suppose I decide against Mrs. Malloy and I don't like Miss Money neither.
Well then, I have one more name on my list. A name I know as well as my own. But let's not get into that now. It'll come up in good time, don't you worry about that. But wait till you see Ernestina Horace. A vision, a dream.
It takes a woman all patterned in pink to joyously clean out the drain in the sink. And it takes an angel with long golden lashes and soft resin fingers for dumping the ashes.
Yes, it takes a woman. Da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You know, Ephraim, I think I'll have that upstairs room done over in blue wallpaper. Yes, blue. Ermengarde, Ambrose, get ready. We have plans to make.
Chief Clerk! Promoted from Chief Clerk to Chief Clerk. And in 10 years, if I'm lucky, I'll be promoted to Chief Clerk again. I'm 33 years old and I still can't get one evening off. When am I going to begin to live?
You can live on holidays, Cornelius.
Do you remember what we did last Christmas? All those rotten canned tomatoes exploded and we had to clean up the mess all afternoon. Do you call that living?
No.
Oh! Barnaby! We're going to New York.
You mean close the store?
Uh-huh.
Cornelius, we can't.
We'll have to! Some more rotten canned tomatoes are going to explode!
Oh, holy cabooses! How do you know?
I am going to light this candle under them. That's how I know. They'll create such a smell the customers won't be able to enter the place for 24 hours. That'll get us an evening off. Oh, we're going to New York, Barnaby, and we're going to live. We're going to spend our money, and we're going to have a good meal, and we're going to be in danger, and we're going to be arrested.
Holy cabooses!
And one more thing, Barnaby. We're not coming back to Yonkers until each of us has kissed a girl.
Oh, Cornelius, you can't do that. You don't know any girls.
I'm 33 years old, Barnaby. I've got to start sometime.
I'm only 17, Cornelius. It isn't so urgent for me.
New York, Barnaby. Elevated trains, the lights of Broadway. The stuffed whale at Barnum's Museum.
A stuffed whale.
A stuffed whale! What do you say, Barnaby?
Yes, Cornelius, yes!
Now, the first thing to do is make you look financially independent. I know I'll find you a job. Can you dance?
I'm an artist, Mrs. Levi. I paint.
Well then, my card.
Dolly Levi, painters taught how to dance.
Now there's a man, Rudolph Reisenweber, down at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant on 14th Street. I'll give you a note for him and we'll not see if we can't have you entered in the polka contest tonight. The prize, a week's engagement and a solid gold cup. Oh, the cups we won. Ephraim and me.
Hold on, Mrs. Levi. No fiance of mine is going to set foot in a cafe. And I don't mind saying I'm surprised you have acquaintances in a place like that.
Not acquaintances, Mr. Kemper. Friends. Dear friends from days gone by. Why, my late husband Ephraim Levi believed in life, and anywhere you could find it. Cafes, ballrooms, yes, even theaters. Even when times were bad, every Saturday like clockwork, down those stairs to the Harmonia Gardens we came. Ephraim and me.
It's all very well to come down like clockwork, Mrs. Levi, but you're asking Ermengarde to work there.
It's the only way to show horse van together if we mean business. Now you go down to the Harmonia Gardens this afternoon and tell them Mrs. Levi sent you. And incidentally, tell Rudolph that Dolly's coming back, and I want a chicken and a table for 8 o'clock tonight.
The bottom row looks all right, Cornelius. Now, hold the ones on top closer to the ones on the bottom. No, not too close. They're swelled up like they're ready to bust. Holy cabooses, Cornelius! I can smell it up here.
Let's get dressed, Barnaby. We're going to New York! Out there's a world outside of Yonkers. Way out there beyond this hick town, Barnaby. There's a slick town, Barnaby. Out there, full of shine and full of sparkle. Close your eyes and see it glisten, Barnaby. Listen, Barnaby. Put on your Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out there. Get out the brilliantine and dime cigars. We're gonna find adventure in the evening air. Girls in white in a perfume night where the lights are bright as the stars. Put on your Sunday clothes, we're gonna ride through town in one of those new horse-drawn open cars. We'll see the shows at Delmonico's and we'll close the town in a whirl. And we won't come home until we've kissed a girl.
Put on your Sunday clothes when you feel down and out. Sit out in the street and have your picture taken. Dress like a dream or smooth and seem to turn about. That sunshine is a certain sign. You feel that's fine and you love.
Beneath your pair
wonder I still had another turn of palm. Where had they preached me wasn't love? We'll join the ashes and Tony ashes and this I'm calling it home. Now we won't come home. Now we won't come home. Now we won't come home until we fall in love.
Oh dear. Oh my. 10 o'clock and the shop not open yet. It's all because of the impending marriage, I tell you. What marriage? Oh, I thought you knew. Why, the marriage that Mrs. Levi is arranging between Mr. Vandergelder, the well-known youngest half-a-millionaire, and my employer and friend, Mrs. Irene Malloy. Although, if you ask me, he'll never take the place of her late husband, Mr. Peter Malloy. May he rest in peace, whoever he is. I'm not sure. He was a caution, you know. It's all too much with late marriages and new marriages. And Miss Mortimer, returning this hat for the 3rd time. Same old story, she wants more. Journeys and credits, journeys and credits. To catch a bow, I suppose. Although, if you ask me, she'd do better with a nice heavy veil. I told her ribbons down our back is what we'll be wearing this summer if we want to catch a gentleman's eye. But she'd have none of it. Gems and feathers she wants. On today of all days, when poor, dear, sweet Mrs. Malloy has enough going on, what with... With what, Minnie? With the door. It's stuck. It's stuck, then push. As I was saying, Mrs. Malloy, I could bite out my tongue for the things I've said and the things I'm going to say, but as long as I've gone this far, I might as well go all the way. Mrs. Malloy, why? Say it, Minnie. Why have I decided to marry Horace Vandergelder? Oh, Mrs. Malloy, I would never ask you that. I would rather die on a rack than ask you such a personal question. But as long as you did bring it up... I'm marrying Horace Vandergelder for one reason and one reason alone, Minnie. To get away from the millinery business. I hate hats. Mrs. Malloy. And I can no longer stand being suspected of a wicked woman with nothing to show for it. Oh, Mrs. Malloy. Don't protest, Minnie. All millineresses are suspected of being wicked women. That's why I can't go into balls or theaters or restaurants. That's all the proof they'd need. Take my word for it, Minnie. Either I marry Horace Vandergelder or I break out of this place like a fire engine. Oh, no, not Miss Mortimer again. Miss Mortimer. I'll take care of it. No, Minnie, leave it be. You can make another hat for Miss Mortimer if you like. I'll be wearing this one myself. Oh, Mrs. Malloy, you can't. You're a widow. And that hat, well, it's provocative, that's what. Is it, Minnie? Well, who knows who may walk into the shop today, and provocative may be just what I want to be. Oh, Mrs. Malloy! I'll be wearing ribbons down my back this summer. Blue and green and streaming in the yellow
him was my share of love, and I'm not gonna say I was shortchanged. Once is enough if it was true love, and it was that. Minnie, look, there's two men staring at the shop. Why, I do believe they mean to come in here.
In the shop? Oh, Mrs. Malloy, what should we do?
Do I flirt with them, of course. I'll give you the short one.
Mrs. Malloy, and you with all that talk about love?
Oh, love enough I've had, Minnie. It's a bit of adventure I could do with now. We'll get them all heated up and then drop them cold. It'll be good practice for married life. Now, you go into the workroom. I know some ways we can perk up our appearances besides a little bit of a wait. We'll only make them nervous and easier for us to...
If you say vampire, I'll scream!
Vampire! And so I'll try to make it easier to find me in the stillness of July, because a breeze might stir a rainbow behind me that might happen to catch the gentleman's eye. Oh, Minnie, we'll get an adventure out of this yet.
We'll get an adventure out of this yet, Barnaby. Just think, we've been wandering around the city all day and nothing happens. Then we come to the quietest little street in New York, and then suddenly...
Vandergelder!
He's still there?
He's sitting right on that bench, Cornelius. Are you sure this is an adventure?
When you're in one, you'll know it, all right? You don't have to ask. But how much money do we have left?
Not much. 40 cents for dinner, 30 cents to see the whale, and 20 cents for the ride home. 90 cents, why?
Well, because when the women come back, we're going to have to pretend to be customers. Customers! Oh, that's it! Maybe the best thing to do is make them think we're rich, then we won't have to spend anything.
We are two men walking about town, looking for hats for ladies. Good afternoon, Mrs.
Malloy.
Here, Cornelius Hackle!
Here, Barnaby Tucker.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Now, what can I do for you?
Well, we're two ladies
We're
looking
hats,
for
you
hats.
see,
and
and
we're
we wanted to buy a lady or
we want
two.
hats. For a lady, of course. And everybody said to go to Mrs. Malloy's because she's so pretty. I mean, her hats are so pretty.
And so reasonable, Cornelius. As reasonable as under $1 would still leave us enough to see the whale.
Oh, you've got to pay him no mind, ma'am. He's come all the way from Yonkers to see the stuffed whale, and he's very excited. Just look out the window, Barnaby. Maybe you'll see it pass by.
Is it mean and big with little red eyes?
Yes.
It's sitting right on that bench.
Excuse me, did you say Yonkers, Mr. Hackle?
Yes, and pardon me for saying this, but you should see Yonkers too, Mrs. Malloy. That is, if Mr. Malloy would like to see Yonkers.
Oh, I'm a widow, Mr. Hackle.
Barnaby! She's a widow! Oh. That's too bad. I'm sure Mr. Malloy would have enjoyed Yonkers, especially in that hat. On you, of course, not on him. May he rest in peace. You're Catholic, aren't you? Well, don't let that bother you. I'd be happy to change. Mrs. Malloy, if you should ever happen to have a Sunday free, I would be more than happy to show you Yonkers from top to bottom.
Well, as a matter of fact, Mr. Hackle, I might be there sooner than you think.
Oh, really?
You see, I have a friend who lives in Yonkers.
You do?
Perhaps you know him.
Oh, perhaps we do.
Oh, it's always so foolish to ask in cases like that, isn't it? It's a Mr. Vandergelder.
Horace Vandergelder?
Vandergelder hay and feed?
Do you know him?
No!
Mr. Vandergelder's a substantial man and well-liked, they tell me.
Very lovely man, very well liked. Has only one fault as far as I'm concerned. He's as hard as nails.
Now, I wonder if your friend is like this one.
Look out!
You'll have to excuse us, Mrs. Malloy.
Gentlemen, what are you doing?
Help us, Mrs. Malloy. We'll explain everything later.
Come out of there this minute.
We're as innocent as can be, Mrs. Malloy.
Well, really, Mr. Tucker, Mr. Hackle, I insist you come out of there at once or I'll be forced to... Come on now, get out of there. Seriously, I mean, Mr. Vandergelder.
Mrs. Malloy. I don't suppose Mrs. Levi is here, is she? She was supposed to meet me on that bench 10 minutes ago. Well, she can just go look for me if she comes. When I make an appointment, I like to be on time. Here. Here's a present for you. Chocolate-covered peanuts, unshelled. The expensive kind. Did I just see you talking with two men?
Men, Mr. Vandergelder, what would 2 men be doing in a ladies' hat shop? Now, why don't we go back to my workroom? I'm so anxious for you to see it.
I saw it last week.
So you did. Well, what's new in the hay and feet business? I hear you have 3 friends, all hard as nails. I mean,
Mrs. Malloy, what on earth are you talking about?
Yonkers. I hear it's a beautiful city.
And who's telling you about Yonkers, may I ask?
Nobody. A friend.
What friend?
Well, you see, he?
A
A customer, Mr. Vandergelder. Someone quite well-to-do, as a matter of fact. He came in here buying hats for ladies. Perhaps you might even know him, although it's always so silly to ask in cases like that, isn't it? It's a Mr. Cornelius Hackle.
Did you say Hackle?
Well, yes.
He happens to be my head clerk, that's all. Mrs. Malloy, demand an explanation.
And I'm going to give you one. Why shouldn't she know Cornelius Hackle? All of New York knows Cornelius Hackle. Why, he's in all the fashionable homes. At the opera. He's at the Harmonium Gardens restaurant 3 times a week.
Impossible. He's only got $146.35 and I keep it in my own safe.
You're killing me, Mr. Vandergelder. He's one of the Hackles. They built the canal.
What canal?
The Panama.
It ain't the same man.
Who took the horses out of Jenny Lynn's carriage and pulled her through the streets? Cornelius Hackle. And who dropped an oyster down Mrs. Astor's? Well, I can't say it, but it was Cornelius. He's the playboy of New York. Now, Irene, don't deny it. I saw you were very taken with him.
Dolly, what are you saying? I've only met that man once in my life. Really, Dolly? Of course.
Oh, my, thank you.
Minnie, hold your tongue!
Look here, there's a man in that
No, Mr. Vandergelder, you can't!
No man that hides in ladies' closets can frighten me, Mrs. Levi. Will you stand aside?
No man, indeed, Mr. Vandergelder. You'd make quick work of any man. Those muscles. I can see them under your coat now, rippling back and forth. Ripple, ripple, ripple back and forth. Ripple, ripple, ripple.
For the last time, will you stand aside?
Stand indeed, Mr. Vandergelder. And that is what they will want to know in the courts when you are accused of entering that closet without a search warrant. I mean, what do you stand for if you don't stand for the law of this great land? I know what I stand for. I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hat, sir. Betsy Ross's flag is passing. Do you see him on the hill at Gettysburg? Neath that great triumphal arch. As you see him as he's tramping through the grapes of wrath. Stand up and march, march, march.
Has this not affected you, sir? I came here at 14 years of age as an immigrant girl from a land that oppressed my people. And I must echo here what was once said by that great and patriotic American,
Moses?
I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hat, sir. There's a tear-stained eagle passing. Do you see him on the hill at Waterloo? Neath that great triumphal arch. If you hear him singing Dixie in the sugar
Miss Malloy.
All right, Mr. Vandergelder, there is a man in that cupboard.
Ah!
And another underneath that table.
What the devil?
There also happens to be a very simple explanation, but for the present, good afternoon.
Oh dear! The whole room is crawling with men. I'll never get over it. I take it I'll see you later this afternoon, Mr. Vandergelder.
You certainly will, Mrs. Levi. With a certain young lady on the main float at the end of the parade. Good day, Mrs. Malloy.
Mrs. Malloy, I can explain. Mrs. Malloy, I can explain everything. You
I
see
do not wish to hear an explanation, Mr. Hackle. Just you and Mr. Tucker do me the pleasure of leaving my shop at once, or I send for Officer Gogarty.
Well, if you ask me, Irene, calling an officer is letting these two off too easy. The law courts, that's where these two belong. Now I've been adding up the offenses, and you have grounds for at least 2 writs, a non-compos mentis, and a garnishee. But the main thing to do is to show that you tried to settle it amicably first. Have dinner with them.
Dinner?
Is that absolutely necessary, Dolly?
It's how things are done in the law, Irene.
Well, if it must be, Mr. Tucker, Mr. Hackle, you may take Miss Fay and myself out to dinner.
Delighted, Mrs. Malloy. Now I happen to know a perfectly wonderful restaurant near the railroad station.
Oh no, Mr. Hackle. If the Harmonia Gardens are good enough for your fashionable friends, they're good enough for us.
Oh,
I hear they have
no,
one.
Mrs. Malloy, we couldn't do that. Now, don't misunderstand me, it's not the money. But, it's...
It's the whale!
It's the whale! No, Barnaby, it's not the whale. It's the dancing! They have dancing in places like that. Competitions, even contests, and I don't know how. And it would take me years, weeks, months to learn, and I think it would be wasted. This is Dolly Levi. 33-year-old chief clerk's taught how to dance?
Now it's simple. Put one arm here and one arm here.
But I have absolutely no sense of rhythm, and...
Absolutely no sense of rhythm. It's the primary requirement for learning by the Gallagher-Levi method. Give me 5 minutes of your time, Mr. Hackle, and I'll have you dancing in the streets. Now let's start with lesson 7. The waltz, kick, turn. Right foot touch, left foot touch, back through, around, out, over, release, unfurl. Ooh! Wonderful! When I think of the lucky woman who will find heaven in your arms. Now let's go back to lesson 1. Put your hand on her waist and stand with her right in your left hand. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Wow! I'm dancing! Well, I was.
Of course you were, Mr. Hackle. Take the someone whose arms you're in. Hold on to her tight and spin. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Look! I'm dancing!
Turn around and turn around, try floating through the air. Can't you be a little more aesthetic?
Don't you think my dancing has a polish and a flair?
The word I use is athletic.
Oh, my heart is about to burst. My head is about to pop. And now that I'm dancing, who cares if I ever stop? Look at me, Cornelius Hackle, dancing!
You're next, Mr. Tucker. Glide and step and then step and
about to burst. My head is about to pop. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop?
Well, look who's here. Mrs. Levi.
How are you, Mrs. Levi?
How are you, Miss Rose?
The same. My mother has pains in her back. My father has stabs in his liver. I'm fine. My sister Fanny got married, you know.
Did she?
A year ago last September. It's been a long time since you lived here, Mrs. Levi. Such a long, long time.
Ephraim, let me go. It's been long enough, Ephraim. Every night I put out the cat, I lock the door, and I make myself a little rum toddy. And every night I say a prayer, thanking God that I was independent, that no one else's life is mixed up in mine. And then one night, an oak leaf fell out of my Bible. I placed it there when you asked me to marry you, Ephraim. A perfectly good oak leaf, but without color and without life. And suddenly I realized I was like that oak leaf. For years I have not shed one tear, nor have I been filled with the wonderful hope that something or other would turn out well. And so I've decided to rejoin the human race. And Ephraim, I want you to give me away. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna go and taste Saturday's high life. Before the parade passes by.
Come along, Mrs. Levi. Cornelius is taking us down to see the 14th Street Parade. Everybody will be dancing, we'll be marching.
Why, Irene? Crying.
Oh, Dolly, the world is filled with such wonderful things. Come with us.
I will, Irene. I will. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna go and taste Saturday's high life. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna get some life back into my life. I'm ready to move out in front. I've had enough of just passing by life.
Mrs. Levi, she's beautiful. Everything you said and more. Don't move, Miss Money. I'm coming. I'm on my way. Hey, you! Put that back! Stop that! I paid for that bill and I want all the parts! Miss Money, what have they touched? Mrs. Levi, what is the meaning of this?
Nothing to get upset about, Mr. Vandergelder. Just a last-minute substitution. Miss Money had some urgent business at the Mint. They ran a little short, and she's helping them out. But don't you worry, Horace. She'll be at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant at 8 o'clock tonight.
That's the most expensive restaurant in the city.
As it should be. The food and the fastest waiters in New York. By the way, Horace, I'm going to be a little late. So Miss Money will meet you out front of the restaurant. But wait till you see her all in buttercup yellow with baby pink shoes and singing an old-fashioned tune. Sweet Rosie O'Grady. You couldn't miss her if you tried.
I'll be there, Dolly. But only because I already paid for the introduction, and I might as well get my money's worth. But from this point on, you are hereby discharged as my marriage broker. From now on, Dolly Gallagher, you're just a woman like anyone else. What's going on? Oh, who are you? God, get away from me! What are you doing to me? Why are you so happy? Why are you so small? Help! Help! Why? Where am I going?
Ephraim Levi. He's as good as mine. I'm gonna raise the roof. I'm gonna carry on. Give me an old trombone. Give me an old baton before the parade passes by.
Mr. Hackle, we've just loved looking at the lights of 14th Street these past 4 hours, but perhaps you better call a hack or we won't get to the Harmonia Gardens on time. Oh, look, there's one. Yoo-hoo!
Oh, no, we couldn't do that. Now, don't misunderstand me, Mrs. Malloy. It's not the money or anything like that. It's just that, really elegant people do not go by hack anymore.
Hacks is out.
They go by streetcar.
J.P. Vanderbilt, Diamond Jim Morgan.
And then by all means, a streetcar. Imagine, just think, I've been elegant all my life, but I never even knew it.
Of course! If you really want to be elegant,
We do.
you walk. Yes, New York, it's really us, Barnaby and Cornelius.
All the guests of Mr. Hackle are feeling great and look spectacular.
What a knack there is to that, acting like a born aristocrat. We've got elegance. If you ain't got elegance, you can never ever carry it off.
like the rich. Well, now, gentlemen, aren't you going to escort us in?
Of course we are, Mrs. Malloy. Barnaby. Mrs. Malloy,
Yes, Mr. Hackle?
before we go inside, I was wondering,
Yes, Mr. Hackle.
may I put my arm around your waist?
Yes, Mr. Hackle. But I must warn you, a corset is a corset.
Show your uncle we mean business. Now, can you weep a little faster? You're throwing me off step.
Lightning service moving twice as lightning, or else! Dining booths satisfactory, sirs. The private dining booths do cost a bit more, but they are for the best view of the entertainment.
$1.40, Cornelius. That's all we have left.
Are you sure? Count it again.
Prepare yourself for a big night, Minnie. We're out with two of New York's best-known sports.
I did make a mistake, Cornelius. It's only $1.35. I'll count it once more.
No, don't! We can't afford it.
I'm going to order everything on the menu. Waiter!
Before, sir, you will have to move. This table is reserved for Mrs. Levi and party.
And who do you think I am? Only it's Mr. Vandergelder and party. She's in my party, I ain't in hers.
Oh, Mr. Vandergelder, of course. It's just that Mrs. Levi mentioned nothing of you bringing your...
My personal physician. That's enough rouge, doctor.
But Mrs. Levi only ordered a chicken for two.
Chicken? Chickens are dear.
Oh, parmesan... Soup du jour, pomme soufflé?
Gesundheit! We'll take 2 bowls of rice. Now get out of here. Now, Miss Money, I hear you carry respectable sums in your belt.
Yeah, $2, only it's in my gotta. Cornelius, but Minnie and I don't care who sees us tonight. Now, Minnie, what have you decided?
Oh, I couldn't have anything at these prices. I really couldn't.
Great rhinestones! What a sensible girl! Waiter, bring us 4 glasses of beer, a loaf of yesterday's bread, and some cheese.
Yesterday's bread. Oh, Cornelius, now I know how you keep half of New York in stitches all the time. Minnie, have you ever tried pheasant?
Pheasant?
Why'd you close the curtains? You embarrassed or something?
Oh, no, it's not that. I just felt a slight chill.
Why didn't you say so? Here, I'll loan you this. Now, let's order something to hold us over till the right comes. Waiter! Would you bring a roast suckling pig with chestnut and oyster stuffing, cheese fondue, and some lady fingers? Now, what'll you have? Hey, you with the big ears, what are you doing after the show? It's sweet of you to worry about our digestion, Cornelius, but I'm sure the pheasants are fresh. We'll take 4. And a nice red wine.
No wine!
No wine?
Champagne!
Champagne!
Champagne, Barnaby! Bring us 4 glasses of champagne, some Neapolitan ice cream, and some nice hot peaches. And, Barnaby, give a nickel to the band leader and tell him to play To a Wild Rose. We want music while we dine.
The Vandergilders do not dance, Miss Money. We're Presbyterian.
All right, I'll dance myself. Give him $2 for the band leader, will ya? And tell him to play something refined. I'm gonna do the hoochie coochie.
All right, Cornelius, I'll send for the band, but promise you won't order anything else.
You wait here, Miss Money. I'll tell him to play a nice waltz. Hey, you, give this band leader, tell him to play a waltz.
Go to the band leader and tell him to play a nice waltz.
Miss Money! My purse! I lost my purse!
In my closet, please!
Hey, you, that's my purse! Miss Money, get off the table! You're dancing in the stew!
Excuse me, oh, but that's my wallet. I know it's mine because there's nothing in it but 3 dimes, 5 pennies, and a... Cornelius? Cornelius! Did he say 3 pheasants? 4 or 5 pheasants for the entire house, and never mind if we don't see the whale. I'll buy one of my own.
the lady.
What? Are you sure, boy?
Just like you told me, sir. 8 o'clock on the nose. Up pulls a carriage and out steps a tall woman with gorgeous golden hair and the biggest handbag I ever saw.
It's she! It's Mrs. Levi!
Rudolph! Sir, is it true? I heard someone laughing outside the kitchen window and it sounded like...
It is! It's Dolly! Prince, tell them that! Mrs. Levi just did not forget it! Rudolph! Is it true? She just did not find the gold carriage! Carried by 6 black horses started blue!
Rudolph, just like old times again! Rudy! She's here!
doing in that get-up? If you're half hour late, then I demand an explanation of...
Ernestina.
Exactly.
Ernestina, whom I trusted.
She wanted to do the hooch.
Well, she always was artistic. Horace, I'm going to have our table moved down front. There's someone in the dance competition I particularly want you to see. Now, let's not say another word about it. I'm as shocked as you are. I couldn't eat a thing. What have you ordered?
What you wanted, a chicken. Now, see here, about that hoochie-coochie girl.
Did you say a chicken? No, I don't think I could face a chicken. Not today, not after it's having, not a chicken!
Good, then cancel the chicken.
And bring a turkey. Oh!
What are you doing now?
Nothing. Just looking the place over.
That's the problem.
I'm acquainted with the surroundings.
That's the problem with you, Dolly. Always wanted to know everything. Always putting your nose in other people's affairs. Anybody who married you would get nervous as a cat.
What?
I said
What's that you just said?
I said anybody who married you.
Horace Vanderbilt, get that idea out of your head this minute. Why, I'm surprised you haven't mentioned such a thing. Understand once and for all, I have no intention of marrying you.
I didn't mean that.
Well, I certainly do hope not. Horace Vandergelder, you go your way, and I'll go mine. I'm not some Irene Malloy whose head can be turned by a few chocolate-covered peanuts. I'm shelled. Why, I'm surprised you even mentioned such a thing.
Mrs. Levi, you misunderstood me.
Well, I certainly do hope not. But if I did have any intention of marrying again, it would be to far more pleasure-loving men than yourself. But let's not say another word about it. Here comes Rudolph and the other waiters with our food. Thank you. Let's start right in Horace. Oh, here's some white meat for you. And some dumplings, light as air they are. And some giblets, very tender and very good for you. Now, Horace, you go your way, and I'll go mine. Start right on the wine, Horace. You'll feel better at once. But since you brought the matter up, there's one more thing I ought to say.
I didn't bring the matter up at all.
One more thing I ought to say. It's true. I'm a woman who likes to know everything, who likes to manage things. But I wouldn't like to manage anything as out of control as your household. You'll have to do that yourself, God helping you.
It's not out of control.
Very good, Horace. Let's not say another word about it.
Good.
Have some beets, Horace. They're good.
I don't like beets.
That's nice. Now, the trouble of it is, Horace, a complaining, quarrelsome, friendless soul like yourself is no sort of companion for me. You salt your beets, and I'll salt mine.
Will you stop saying that?
I won't say another word about it.
Good.
Except this. At your age, Horace, you should enjoy hearing the honest truth.
My age? My age? You're always talking about my
Well,
age.
I don't know what your age is, but I do know up in Yonkers with bad food and bad temper, you'll double it in 6 months. Have some more beets, Horace. They're good.
I don't like beets. I hate beets.
That's good. No, the pity of it is you could be a perfectly charming, witty, amiable man if you wanted to.
I don't want to be charming.
But you are. Look at you. You can't else. But before I change the subject, there's one more thing I ought to say.
I don't want to hear it. And you're wasting your time, Dolly Levi. I won't ask you to marry me.
I suppose that means you want me to ask you. Well, I'm sorry, Horace. I'm turning you down.
How can you turn me down when I haven't asked you anything?
It's no use arguing. I've made up your mind. Let me cut your wings.
I've got a headache. I'm going back to my hotel.
Well, you can't go now. The dance competition's about to begin.
Here's money to pay for dinner. Here's $20. Wait a minute. There's nothing in here. There's only $1, 3 times, 5 pennies, and a button. I've lost my purse. This isn't my purse.
Barnaby, that purse you found.
It's Mr. Vandergelder's. We have to go. Possible. I can't imagine you without your purse.
What am I going to do? I've never been here before. They don't know me. Stop eating that turkey. I can't pay for it.
Horse's latest thing, a polka. And there's one dancer I particularly want you to see. Mr. Vandergelder, observe this graceful movement.
Wait a minute. That man, that dancer.
Isn't he wonderful? With talent like that, he's sure to win the solid gold cup.
charged with disturbing the peace, assault, and battery, inciting to riots, and several other equally serious violations of the laws of this city. Is there anyone here to speak on your behalf? I say, is there anyone here to speak on your behalf? Anyone at all?
beads. Beads. Would anybody like some beads? Oh! Oh! Excuse me.
Mrs. Dolly Levi, counselor at law.
Your Honor, the defense rests. No, ladies and gentlemen, there's no need to call any witnesses. What I see upon that bench is a brow that gleams with honor, a pair of snow-white whiskers that bristle with fair pleasure, and a nose. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you, look at that nose! A beacon that shines in the night like a flaming representation of justice. Your Honor, would you further turn this way so we can get a better look at your beacon? A living symbol of the motto of this great land. E proboscis unum! Your Honor, I ask for freedom for my clients and a verdict of guilty for the one person responsible. Horace Van Gelder of Yonkers, New York.
Dolly!
One man responsible for the grievous crimes of willful destruction of private property.
The curtain torn, a veto bruised, and a solid gold cup bent.
Cruelty to a poor, unfortunate minor. Could you say that a little louder, dear?
Pardon me, Mrs. Levi, but if it please the court, I have something I'd like to say.
Go ahead, Mr. Hackle. I was just about to call you.
Cornelius Hackle? If you dare testify against me, you'll be discharged.
You've already done that, Mr. Vandergelder.
I'll do it again.
You've done it again, too. But even if you hadn't, I'd still say what I have to say. I don't know much about disturbing the peace or inciting to a riot, but I do know that what happened to me today, which is maybe the most important thing that can happen to a man, would have never happened if I obeyed your orders and stayed in Yonkers, New York. Your Honor, I am talking about none other than love.
What? tell me that for 33 years you've fallen in love because of one evening off?
Oh no, Mr. Vandergelder, I did not fall in love with Mrs. Irene Malloy of this city in just an evening. An hour. No, even that's too long. What's less than a minute?
A second.
Less than that.
A moment.
That's it. I'll go slowly so you can write this all down. It only takes a moment for your eyes to meet, and then your heart knows in a moment you will never be alone again. I held her for an instant, but my arms felt sure and strong. It only takes a moment to be loved a whole life long. Isn't the world full of such wonderful things? There I sat, cooped up in Yonkers for years and years and years, and all the while there were people like Mrs. Malloy wandering around New York, and I didn't know them all. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you can see from where you're sitting, but the way her eyes and her cheek and her forehead all come together. I tell you, a fine woman is the greatest work of God on earth. You can talk all you like about Niagara Falls and the Great Pyramids. They aren't it at all. Of course, I've seen women before, but today I talked to one equal to equal, and they are so different from men, and awfully mysterious too. I bet you could know a woman for 100 years and still not know if she liked you or not. I've lost so many important things today. My job. My future. Everything that people think is important, but I don't care. If I have to dig ditches for the rest of my life, I will be a ditch digger who once had a wonderful day.
I missed that last part, Mr. Hackle. Right after it only
takes a moment,
But his arms felt sure and strong. It only takes a moment.
He held me for an instant, but his arms felt safe and strong. It only takes a moment to be loved a whole life long.
and that is all that love's about.
And we'll recall when time runs out that it only took a moment to be loved a whole life
Oh, dismissed, all of you, dismissed. You're free, all except for Mr. Horace Vandergelder of Yonkers, New York. You're all dismissed.
You may see the prisoner now, Mrs. Levi.
You.
Well, Horace, there's your life. Without niece, without clerks, without bride, oh, and without your purse. I guess there's nothing left for me to say, but...
Wait. If it's to ask me to marry you, Dolly, never. Not in a million years. Under no circumstances will I ever marry you.
That wasn't it at all, Horace. All I was going to say was... Goodbye!
What?
Goodbye!
Now hold on, Dolly.
It's too late, Horace. I've failed. And when a woman fails, there's nothing left to say but...
Hey.
Goodbye! 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 Don't try to stop me, Horace. Please! Wave your little hand and whisper so long, dearie. You ain't gonna see me anymore. But when you discover that your life is dreary, don't you come a-knocking at my door. For I'll be all done up and singing that song that says you don't. I told you so. So wave your little hand and whisper so long, dearie, dearie. Should have said so long ago. For you have treated me so rockin' and rough. I've had enough of feeling low. So wave your little hand and whisper so long, dearie, dearie. Should have said so long ago. For I can hear that choo-choo calling me on to a fancy new address. Yes, I can hear that choo-choo calling me on aboard the Happiness Express. I'm gonna learn to dance and sing and smoke a cigarette. I'm getting as far away from Yonkers as a girl can get. And on those cold winter nights, Horace, you can snuggle up to your cash register. It's a little lumpy, but it rings. Don't come a-knocking, I'll be all done up and singing that song that says you don't. I told you so. So, Horace, you will find your life a sad old story. When you see your dolly shuffle off to glory, no, should have said so long ago.
And I wouldn't marry you, Dolly Levi, if you're the last woman on earth. Not if you asked me 1,000,000 times. I didn't need you before, and I don't need you now. Dolly, you go your way, and I'll go mine.
gift, Mr. Vandergelder?
What? Oh, so it's you come crawling, have you?
No, Mr. Vandergelder, I've just come back for my $146.35. I'm opening up my own business, you see, and since the only business that I know is hay and feed, I'm opening up my own store.
And Cornelius has found the perfect location, Mr. Vandergelder, right across the street from you.
So you think you can compete with the Vandergelters, do you? Well, just you try. Aha! Another one come crawling, is it? What do you want?
My back salary from the past 4 months, $6.12.
You can't do this to me. Any of you! I'll go to the courts. I'll get lawyers. I'll...
Why, Horace Vandergelder, as I live and breathe. Don't you look handsome in that outfit? So few men have the courage to wear fawn yellow and taupe.
Dolly Gallagher.
I know what you're going to say, Horace. You're not satisfied with Ernestina. Well, I have one more woman for you, the ideal wife. But you were doing something I don't want to interrupt. What were you doing?
Getting Cornelius's money, $146.
And 35 cents.
And $6.12 of mine.
And the money my mama left me.
$52.48.
38.
48.
All right. If it's the money you want, the safe is upstairs. Don't get calling all of you. Jump, jump.
Money, 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 money. Mr. Vandergelder's money. It's like the sun we walk under. It can kill, or it can cure. Mr. Vandergelder never tires of saying we're all fools. And in a way, he's right, isn't he? Himself, Cornelius, Irene, myself, we're all fools, and we're in danger of destroying the world in our folly. But the surest way to keep us from harm is to give us the 4 or 5 human pleasures that are our right in the world. And that takes a little money. The difference between a little amount of money and no money at all is enormous and can shatter the world. And the difference between a little money and an enormous amount of money is very slight, and that can shatter the world too. It's all in how you use it. My late husband, Ephraim Levi, used to say, money, pardon the expression, is like manure. It's not worth a thing unless it's spread around, encouraging young things to grow. Anyhow, that's the opinion of the second Mrs. Vandergelder. Which reminds me, Ephraim, I'm ready for that sign.
Well, don't just stand there. That goes upstairs.
Well, Horace, as I was saying, I found you the ideal wife.
Dolly Gallagher, I don't want you to find me no ideal wives. If I want the ideal wife, I'll find one of my own. And I found her. And it's you, damn it!
Why, Horace!
I know I've been a fool about Mrs. Malloy and that other woman, but Dolly, forgive me and marry me.
Stop right there, Horace.
What do you mean?
You and I both know you are the first citizen of Yonkers, New York, and your wife would have to be a somebody. Answer me. Am I a somebody?
You are a wonderful woman.
Oh, you're partial! No, Horace, it's not enough for you to shower your wife with money and jewels. She'll have to be a benefactress of half the town. By the way, it's bad business letting Cornelius open up shop across the street. Better take him back and make him your partner.
Partner?
And Barnaby can have Cornelius's old job.
Now see here, Dolly.
That way we can all be together and dance at Ermengarde's wedding.
That's it. I'll dance at no weddings. And besides, I don't know how. It would take me weeks, months, years to learn. All right, I'll dance.
Why, Horace, I never thought I'd hear you say those words.
That front room, idiot. Well, come on, keep working.
Horace Vandergelder, what is going on up there?
Oh, it's not much, but I decided to have that front room done over in blue wallpaper.
Horace.
I know the old paper ain't worn out yet, but that fellow's just set up in business and needs a good start. Besides, I've always thought that money pardon the expression, is like manure. It ain't worth a thing unless...
Thank you, Ephraim.
Hello, Dolly, well, hello, Dolly, it's so nice to have you here where you belong. I never knew Dolly without you. Dolly, life was awfully flat, and more than that was awfully wrong.
Here's my hat, Horace. I'm staying where I'm at, Horace. Dolly, you'll never go away
Wonderful woman.
again. As it's our closing night, we're just going to do a couple of quick thank yous. Thank you all for coming. Would be our first one. We really are so grateful you guys are here. And now we're going to get the flowers, maybe? Yeah? Anybody got a joke?
All right, this is my sister's joke. She used to do this every show, so I'm stealing it. What be a pirate's favorite letter?
R.
You may think it be R, but its true love be the C. The parabola. Okay. Disclaimer, this is terrible. What do you call a math story? A parable.
These flowers are for someone who is not as recognized as much as the actors on stage, purely because the audience doesn't see her. Our stage manager, Stella Chiari, plays a major role backstage. There are many moving parts, technically in production, from lighting cues to set changes. Stella organizes and is in charge of all of this, which helps make the show run the way it did. Thank you so much for all of your efforts and time and dedication, and your quiet presence is not overseen. So, thank you.
Hi everyone, so I have the pleasure of thanking our student director tonight. As you can probably tell, we're a pretty big cast. There's over 100 students in this production. And without our student director, Ava Clancy, we honestly would not be able to do what we did today. Everyone up here is literally so enthralled. She allowed them to spirit, and also she was a student director and in the play. Like, she had a role and she had to learn her own songs and everything like that. So without her, we wouldn't be able to do this. So thank you from the bottom of our heart.
This one goes to Brian, our costume guy, and so he has been here as long as I've been here, definitely, and for many more years, and he has supplied every single costume of every single show that's been here. He is a superstar. He's had to sew my pants 3 times after I torn them in this show, and I just love Brian so much. So Brian, these are for you.
This next thank you is for the man who makes this beautiful stage come to life every single year. He's always backstage and ready to have a good laugh with us and a good sense of humor. Just the other day, he made fun of me for painting a platform with a single paintbrush, and it took me 20 minutes. He came and did another one with a roller in about 5 seconds. So we wouldn't be here without you today, Mr. Donnelly, and these are for you.
Bow fell off. Oh boy. This man, okay. So, I've wanted to give, freshman year, I decided I was going to give these chocolates to Danalosa, and here's why. So my freshman year, we did Les Mis, and Les Mis was a very vocally heavy show. It's entirely sung through, and it was very difficult for the entire cast musically to just, understand, and I was meeting with him once a week to try and I just could not keep up with the really difficult music, and he helped me. I met with him probably once a week freshman year to go through things. He is the kindest man on this planet, and I love him so much. And Mr. Losa, these are for you.
for someone very near and dear to my heart. She actually directed the first show that I ever did here at summer camp. And ever since then, she's been nothing but encouraging and just a light. Every student here loves her, and she's been so influential to everyone, from doing people's hair downstairs for hours before the show. And at auditions, she told us all to choose courage, and she's the best example of that. So, and on top of that, she's our choreographer. So, Miss Schreiber.
So this last thank you is so big that we need two people to do it. So this one goes out to our director, Kelly Hines. She also happens to be both of our advisors. And let me tell you, senior year and learning a show, it's a tough one. But every day I would come in and I would just be met with this radiant, like, positivity and kindness and just a smile, even when I showed up out of dress code with my hair pulled back, no makeup on, looked like death, it's fine. But she never falters, which is something I so admire about her and hope to emulate as I get older. And there are just no words, and I want to thank you personally for giving me the opportunity to take on this role and help lead a show that just really was so beautiful. And thank you to everyone up here who supported each other and me along the way. It's really, truly a family, and we've been through some tough times, but we've also been through great triumphs. And I'm sad to see the show go, but Kelly Hines, you made it one for the books, so she has something to say.
There's no way I can possibly express what kind of a person and the impact that Kelly Hines has had on me in the minute that I have up here. But she is truly sunshine in human form. I think when I first met her as a freshman, I could not believe that she was for real. I thought there's no way she can be this warm and this genuinely kind and loving, but she's for real. She is like a Disney princess. And like Caitlin said, coming in every morning and just being greeted with her positivity and her smile. And she just truly takes care of us. She doesn't just teach us and direct us. She takes care of our souls and makes sure that we are okay. So I love her endlessly for that. And she's the most generous person. And I could go on and on for hours, but thank you so much for everything you've ever done.